All right, folks, buckle up. We're talking about 8 torture methods so messed up, even the CIA would probably be like, nah, too much. Number 8, the white prison. You think hell is dark and fiery? Nah, you got it all wrong. Real hell is white, like blindingly white. This is the ultimate sensory deprivation torture, super popular in places like modern-day Iran and Venezuela. Imagine being stuck in a soundproof room. Everything's white. Walls, floor, ceiling. Bright white neon lights are blasting 24/7, so you lose all sense of day and night. You're wearing white clothes, eating white food off a white plate. Sounds kinda clean and chill, right? Wrong. Your brain is like a hyperactive kid. It needs stimulation, colors, sounds, to know it's even alive. When you cut off all that input, your brain starts freaking out, making stuff up. After a few days, you'll lose yourself. You won't know where you end and the room begins, who you are, if you're even real or just a meaningless white blob. Survivors say they started seeing floating hallucinations, hearing dead relatives' voices, and the silence got so loud it was deafening. They craved any other color, any sound, so bad they'd bite their own tongues or bash their heads against the wall just to see the red of their own blood. At that point, pain becomes your best friend, because at least it tells you you're still a flesh and blood human. Basically, this room literally whitewashes your brain, turning you into a terrified blank slate. Number 7, stress positions. If you ever thought a 2-minute plank was tough, welcome to stress positions. This is a super twisted torture method that uses humanity's biggest, never sleeping enemy, gravity. The genius of it is how simple and brutal it is. They just make prisoners hold unnatural poses, putting all the pressure on one specific muscle group for what feels like forever. No whips, no clamps. Your own body weight slowly rips you apart from the inside. The classic example is the invisible chair. You're forced to stand with your back against a wall, knees bent at a 90-degree angle like you're sitting, but there's no chair. For the first 5 minutes, your thighs just feel a bit tired, like after a workout. But by 30 minutes, your thighs are shaking uncontrollably. Lactic acid builds up, making it feel like someone's pumping molten battery acid into every muscle fiber. After 2 hours, the pain isn't just in your legs anymore. It creeps up your spine, attacking your kidneys. Muscles start breaking down, releasing toxins into your bloodstream. Your legs swell up to double their size, and your joints scream like they're about to explode. Or, even simpler, they make you stand on your tiptoes for 24 hours. Your feet will deform, and every second will feel like you're standing on hot coals. The true genius and cruelty is psychological. It turns the victim into their own torturer. The guard doesn't even touch you. They just sit there, sipping coffee, watching. If you drop your arms or collapse, you get punished worse. So you're forced to use every last bit of your strength, every last ounce of survival instinct to stay in that agonizing position. You become an accomplice in your own torment. After a few hours, you're not even human anymore. You're just a screaming mass of pain begging gravity to let you go. Number 6, mock execution. If you think death is the scariest thing, you're dead wrong. Death, at least, is an end. But that feeling of being about to die and then not dying, that's what really shatters your soul, dragging out the nightmare indefinitely. Mock execution is a sick, twisted joke torturers play to completely break a prisoner's will without wasting a single real bullet. It turns the hope of survival into a torture device. The scenario usually plays out like some Hollywood movie. You're dragged out of your cell in the dead of night, blindfolded tight, tied to a rough wooden post. You hear the heavy footsteps of the firing squad, the chilling click-clack of rifles being loaded right next to your ear. Your heart pounds like it's trying to burst out of your chest, cold sweat pouring off you. You start praying, crying, begging, or maybe even pissing yourself in pure terror. A voice yells, "Fire!" Then click. Just a dry hammer hitting an empty chamber. No bullet. Then barbaric laughter erupts all around you. Just kidding. See you tomorrow. They drag you back to your cell, body shaking uncontrollably, sobbing with relief, but that's when the real hell begins. Next time they drag you out, you won't know if it's real or a joke. The torture is the absolute uncertainty. Your nervous system is constantly in fight or flight, pumping adrenaline non-stop, but there's nowhere to run and no one to fight. After a few near-death experiences like that, your mind crumbles like a dry cookie. You become a living, breathing shell, obediently following every order just to avoid that feeling of impending death ever again. Number 5. Sleep deprivation. This is the king of psychological torture. Simple, because it hits the most basic human biological need. You can go weeks without food, days without water, but if you go too long without sleep, your brain literally cooks itself. This method has been used since ancient Rome, by the KGB, and even the CIA, because it's absolutely effective. No one can keep secrets or their dignity when they're drifting between life and death. The methods vary, but they're all brutal. Blasting super bright lights into your eyes, making you stand all night, or waking you up every 15 minutes with loud noises. After one day without sleep, your brain works as badly as someone who's blackout drunk. After 2 days, your coordination is gone. And after 3 days, welcome to psychosis. You'll start seeing monsters crawling out of corners, hearing whispers in your head, and believing that chair is plotting to kill you. Your body breaks down from skyrocketing stress hormones. Your immune system quits, and your brain starts shutting down in little pieces, even though your eyes are wide open. Prisoners at this stage will do anything, sign any paper, give any name, even their neighbor's cat's name, just for 5 minutes of closed eyes. It's messed up because it leaves no physical bruises, but it leaves permanent scars on your mind. Basically, this is the hardcore version of trying to pull an all-nighter for a deadline, except if you doze off, your boss won't yell. You'll get a bucket of cold water to the face. Number 4. Water droplet torture. Imagine you're lying on your back, strapped down tight to a hard wooden table. No one's hitting you, no one's screaming in your face. There's just one thing, a single ice-cold drop of water, dripping tuck, tuck, right onto the middle of your forehead. Tuck, tuck. Sounds like a cheap spa treatment or a boring rainy day, right? You'd probably scoff. What the hell? It's just water. I shower every day. But try lying there for 24 hours and that smirk will vanish faster than your phone battery. The horror of this method isn't the water, it's the irregularity. Your brain is a pattern-addicted machine. It wants to predict everything to feel safe. But these drops don't fall regularly, like a clock. Sometimes it's 2 seconds, sometimes 5, sometimes it's a sudden 10-second wait before a plop. This unpredictability drives your brain insane, forcing it to tense up waiting for the next impact in extreme suspense. You can't sleep, you can't think, and you can't turn away. After a few hours, the cool sensation of the water disappears. Instead, each drop starts feeling like a physical blow, like a sledgehammer hitting your raw skull. The skin on your forehead starts to erode, but worse, your mind shatters. You'll start hallucinating that the hole in your forehead is growing bigger, and that drop is drilling straight into your brain. Basically, this is how ancient people taught you what desperate waiting feels like, except the price is your sanity. Number 3. Temperature torture. You like stepping into a cool, air-conditioned room on a scorching summer day, or cozying up by a warm fireplace in winter. Of course you do. But let me introduce you to its hellish version. Temperature torture. This is how captors turn the environment itself into a weapon, making your blood boil or freeze solid without ever laying a finger on you. Let's start with the cold room. You're stripped naked or just wearing thin clothes and thrown into a room kept at 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit or lower and constantly doused with cold water. It's not cold enough to kill you instantly from hypothermia, but it's enough to make your body shiver uncontrollably 24/7. Your muscles constantly contract to generate heat, leaving you aching like you've been run over by a truck. Blood withdraws from your limbs to protect your organs, making you lose feeling, go numb, and experience bone-deep pain. You can't sleep, you can't think, and you can't turn away. After a few hours, the cool sensation of the water disappears. Instead, each drop starts feeling like a physical blow, like a sledgehammer hitting your raw skull. The skin on your forehead starts to erode, but worse, your mind shatters. You'll start hallucinating that the hole in your forehead is growing bigger, and that drop is drilling straight into your brain. Basically, this is how ancient people taught you what desperate waiting feels like, except the price is your sanity. Number 2. Bamboo torture. If you think nature is your friend, ancient folks would prove to you that even plants can be the most brutal executioners. This is a legendary method rumored to be used in East Asia, exploiting the fictional biological properties of bamboo. It grows super fast. Some types can shoot up a whole meter, over 3 feet, in just 24 hours during rainy season. Its growth strength is enough to crack through concrete, so torturers thought, hey, why not use it to pierce people? The process plays out like a slow-motion horror movie. The victim is stripped naked, strapped tightly, lying horizontally right over a bed of young bamboo shoots that have just sprouted and are sharpened to a wicked point. And then, nobody does anything. The torturers go to sleep. You just lie there. But nature doesn't rest. At first, you just feel an itch on your back. After a few hours, the bamboo shoots start to pierce your skin. The horrifying part is it doesn't stab you quickly like a sword for an instant death. It grows through your body inch by agonizing inch silently. The bamboo will weave past your ribs, puncture your stomach, snake through your internal organs to find its way out. You'll be fully conscious for 2 or 3 days, watching the bamboo slowly emerge from your belly or chest, literally turning your body into a living plant pot. You don't die from the immediate wound, but from the prolonged, excruciating pain and infection. This is the peak of savagery, turning nature's intense life force into the most agonizing death for humans. Number 1. Tickle torture. Topping the list is something that sounds like a harmless prank among friends or a punishment for kindergartners. Tickling. You're scoffing now, right? What? Tickling is torture? At most, I'll just laugh until my stomach hurts. Oh no, think again. Throughout history, from ancient Rome to China's Han Dynasty, this was a favored form of execution for one simple reason. It leaves no scars, but it makes the victim want to stop breathing immediately. The mechanism is more brutal than you think. When you're tickled, that laughter isn't joy. It's your body's panic reflex. Your brain signals that sensitive pressure points are being attacked, and it activates defense mechanisms. But when your hands and feet are tied tight and you're continuously tickled, maybe with a goose feather, or even more brutally by putting salt water on the soles of your feet and letting goats lick them, your body completely loses control. You can't regulate your breathing, you start inhaling frantically but can't exhale. Your chest tightens, your abdominal muscles ache like they're being ripped apart. After about 30 minutes, the laughter turns into sobs, then desperate screams. You vomit, lose bladder and bowel control, and eventually die from asphyxiation or heart failure due to extreme stress. Ancient nobles loved this method because they could torture their enemies to death while keeping the body clean. No blood, no bruises. It turns one of humanity's most naturally joyful reflexes into a slow, murderous weapon. So next time someone tickles you for too long, remember, they're technically performing an ancient execution ritual. And those are 8 torture methods that brutally broke people's wills without a single drop of blood. They turn your body into your enemy and your mind into a prison. Maybe, after all, the scariest thing isn't dying, but living in a hell created by your own brain. What do you guys think?